eyes unless I hold it up.
We only need it for this one shot. Don't worry, Adrian. GM, everyone. So in case you didn't know, from the purple hats, it's Haberdashery Day. So today we are sponsored by the fabulous Haberdashery, Degen Dow. And so we thought we'd dress appropriately for the moment.
Yes.
And thank you, Haberdashery. We love you. We have a big day. We have a big day happening in general. And there's a lot happening. Base app, Base, Coinbase. We don't know exactly what, but we have suspicions. And we're really excited. We are going to have Annika here, product lead from Base Chain, and she'll be talking about none of that, but it'll still be related and interesting. So
I invited her to come on. So like a few weeks ago, I met her at Dev Connect and I was like, oh, you're amazing. And we need to get you on GM Farcaster. Yeah. So we're emailing about dates. I finally get it. And then all of a sudden it occurred to me, I'm like, wait, we're getting her on December 17th. I was like, that's great.
Yeah, that's great. She can't say anything. But anyway, we're going to get rolling right now. And we'll be back on the other side of this. Hold on, if I can find it. On the other side of this 40 seconds. Welcome to GM Farcaster, bringing you everything from breaking news to spicy memes to the deep lore shaping this vibrant digital community. More than just a show, GM Farcaster is your digital third space where the community connects, the stories unfold, and the culture thrives. Whether you're a daily caster or just dropping by, we've got the latest buzz to keep you plugged in. So grab your coffee and let's dive in with your hosts, Nanish Prof and Adrian, for another episode of GM Farcaster. GM Farcaster. It is Wednesday, December 17th. Of course I knew that. You are here with Nanish Prof and Adrian for 29 minutes of Farcaster news to start your day. Farcaster and Base App news to start your day, followed by a chat with Annika from Base, the product lead for the Base chain. So I am getting this tweeted out. If you are watching with us now, retweet, recast, tell your friends, throw it in a Telegram, throw it in a Discord. Big day. Have them get in here. Just sending this out.
Yes, I've learned we're officially in Let's Circle Back in 2026.
It's true.
But so I guess that means no more work, but you can hang out with us.
It's true. You can just hang. All you have to do is hang. There's no work needed. This is perfect time to catch up with us this week. It's perfect.
Okay. How? Yes. I don't know if you heard.
Update. There is a system update coming.
Today's a big day, December 17th. We are not breaking it.
We're not breaking any news because we have no news to break, but we are going to be talking about it.
Yeah.
In general. I'm still trying to get things tweeted out to make sure people know we are live.
If we were better media people, we would not answer that question. Yeah. We would lead you to believe we might break it.
Yeah.
And make you hang out and then not.
And then not do it and just be like, sorry.
We're too honest.
But we're way too honest. And this is why we're also poor. Anyway, or I am.
Rich with love.
Rich with love. Oh, let me do this. I just wanted to share so you guys could see the very, very cute little PFPs with our hats on. And I do love the Haberdashery as a branding sponsor is fantastic, I have to say. It really is. It is the most fun of the sponsors we've had. So we enjoy the hats.
I really liked Pinata for the Pinata.
True. That's true.
That we had a lot of fun.
That's true. You're right. You're right.
Yeah, so for future sponsors, like you need to bring us something.
Bring it fun. Yes. Something we can play with. We're looking for Rubik's if you're out there. Whatever,
Yes, we're Rubik's.
Arcade, come back. We need fun things.
Yes, we're middle-aged and we
it's like Rubik. I couldn't think of anything. I think of Okay, let's get into it. We've got some Farcaster and Builder news to jump into before we jump into all things base. This is from DWR PSA. We're going to start displaying content coins from Base App casts on the Farcaster app. We don't have plans to add coining from the Farcaster app, but the coins are already attached to the cast as embeds at the protocol level. So, just to kind of clarify what this means for those who may not understand. So the base app that is still in beta for, I don't know, another 6 hours or so.
We don't know. Could be.
Maybe, could be.
Could be
could
16
be
hours.
something
It could be
completely
6
different.
days.
Yeah. It's true. I could be completely wrong. So you can coin your posts on there, meaning that you can flip a little switch, and every time you upload your casts, what we call them over on Farcaster, you can also set it to be collected as a coin, as a token. So for now, Farcaster, the client, does not have that. On their side, we have the collect the cast as a collectible NFT, but not the coining. But you now will see that information on the cast if it's coming from Base App so that you can more easily trade it, is the reason. So it makes it easy to just click on and be able to trade the coin. So there you go. Yes.
Coolest part about this is that the Farcaster developers did not have to have a single meeting with the base developers to get this working.
This is true. All permissionless. All permissionless. And DWR has some advice here. If you'd like to mute, it's $ altcoins/tokens or Zoracoin, specifically base app content coins. Remember, you won't see any casts from people on the base app then, assuming they are coining content. To be clear, not recommending people mute, just informing people they have the ability to. So if there's one particular coin that's popping off and you're just like, I can't with this, you can do that. You can just coin that. You can just mute that, or you can mute people. You can mute larger coin. If you don't want to see any, you can do that as well. So there you go. Yes. All in your hands.
But probably you'll just ask about how much you hate Farcaster.
What?
That's what people do. I'm saying he's.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But you have options. Sorry.
You have options. I was like, what?
I don't hate Farcaster. I'm just saying.
Farcaster? What are you talking about?
I don't hate Farcaster. I'm saying people get upset when they don't they're seeing content they don't want to see. But
right. So we want to make sure you have all the fun that you can have. By the way, how can I mute all of them but Soldier Boy's ones? That's funny. I think that might need a very custom script.
Build your own client.
Build your own client. Soldier Boy only. This from DWR, Clanker update pre-sales. TLDR, we're pausing future pre-sales for now and working on a new Clanker launch feature. It will take a couple of months to build. We'll work with interested teams to get feedback and iterate on the design before it goes live. And then this kind of gives a little bit of background. A couple of weeks ago, the house team ran a Clanker presale. This is the first one using the V4 presale functionality, which is currently gated. The presale sold out immediately before we had a chance to announce it in the app. While the team hit their presale goal, only a few people were able to participate. This was bad. Yes, it was, especially since we pre-announced it and many people in Farcaster wanted to participate. That's on us. We should have required an allow list, but even with an allow list, there were still issues with the existing mechanism. The mechanism rewards speed to buy, not long-term alignment. 2, there's no built-in price discovery. The team picks a percentage sold and an ETH amount, creating an implicit market cap. This can lead to over or underestimation. So in other words, it's not finding the price. There's no price discovery there. 3, presale proceeds do not contribute to the token's liquidity at launch. 4, the existing presale mechanism does not allow for cancellation or refunds. So we're going back to the drawing board with 3 goals. A broad and fair distribution. B, trading starts with deep liquidity at a market cap determined through price discovery. And C, aligned economics between teams and holders. So, all right, this is exciting. Hopefully they're looking at phase mechanic as one of those, like, it's good. It's actually very good. So, and thinking in those terms and see what else they come up with, because crack devs on the case. So there we go. For what it's worth, probably would have been a good idea to do this before you did the first one, but action provides information, as Brian Armstrong likes to say. So we now have information. That didn't work. Now we move on. All right. This from Horsefacts, just acquired 493 Clanker in our first automated fee swap. We'll be moving from infrequent manual purchases to regular automated swaps. This smooths out fee collection and purchases over time. Expect to see fewer big spikes from LP fees on the Dune dashboard, and treasury balance go up more continuously. Also, by the way, hilarious, because didn't we just announce on Monday that they were putting this on the back burner because it wasn't a priority?
I swear it was yesterday.
It's I'm pretty sure.
I don't think it was Monday, but last
Warpy,
week it was.
Warpy, can you go back and look at when I said that this wasn't going to happen anytime soon? It was literally either Friday or Monday. It was
the history, right? The history was week 1, it's manual, but we're going to automate it soon.
Right.
Week 2, manual, we're going to automate it soon. Week 3, manual, we're going to automate it soon. I think it was week 4. It's going to be manual for a long time.
It literally was last week or something. It was like, it's gonna take us a while. It's not a priority. This is working fine. And then all of a sudden, here it is.
It's automated.
So there you go.
Well done, guys.
Very well done. It's just funny. I'm like, okay, all right. I was like, I could swear I just told everybody that this wasn't going to happen.
This is why we need to be on here every day.
Exactly. This from Horsefacts, we swept the storage registry balance on Optimism and reconfigured USDC fees for Pro and collectibles to send directly to our vault instead of an intermediate wallet. We'll do Clanker transactions tomorrow, links below. So that's cool to see as well. They're trying to automate all these different things or just create better flows for all this type of stuff. And what's really cool is that they tell you about it, because they don't have to tell us this. So thanks for the transparency. And then this from Linda, this was great. This was on Monday. Clanker LP Management 101 live stream with Dish and Moon Poppy. We covered topics: LP fundamentals, strategies and trade-offs, common LP mistakes, starting market cap, sniper tax mechanics, Clanker LP position simulator, walkthrough of adding and removing liquidity. And this was really, really helpful, especially if you're not familiar with like liquidity pools and how these things work, and mistakes and things like that. So go check this out if you are interested. Like, this was really, really useful. Might be something. I was like, okay, I need Professor Moon Poppy to come into class, talk to the kids, because it was really, really well done. So there you go. Look for more. Okay, so let me show this first, because it won't make sense. So when you now invite friends to Farcaster, it does say earn 20% of fees when someone you refer trades on Farcaster. Rewards can be claimed immediately in USD to your wallet. Give your friends an additional 20% off when they join using your referral code. This applies to trades made within the Farcaster app. So this has been, I think, around for a while, but maybe it wasn't on the referral link. I'm not sure. So I'm not sure how this all of a sudden popped up, because I thought this was the way it was for a bit already. And in terms of like giving your friends like an additional 20% off, that was kind of on hold for November, because it was a no fee November anyway. So didn't really matter. And also the 20%, like that 20% of fees goes backwards as well. So if you've referred somebody and they all of a sudden start using it, I believe that was my understanding on that. So this was from Derek, and there was a lot of discussion around this. So this is, I think, the only one I pulled, though. The fee-based incentive for inviting friends to Farcaster just isn't interesting to me. One, as a user, I'm not responsible for FC's funnel from new user to transacting user, so why would I be excited about an incentive that requires that funnel to be effective? 2, I have no idea where my friends are financially and what they want out of crypto. It's a weird ask. 3, fees are a loss leader for Farcaster. See no fee November. So this incentive is not that interesting from a financial perspective. If FC means invite friends to Farcaster, then the incentive needs to line up. Reward me with a spot bonus if they've casted a number of times, or if they've transacted once, or if they're retained after 7, 14, 30 days, not fee-based. Work out an LTV for a retained user, and then give me a fixed rate against that. Is that $1 per user, 5, 10? If FC means invite traders to Farcaster, then that's at least consistent. But the problems with the model becomes apparent. There's a small finite number of traders, and the ones I know are already on FC. It might be a great PMF strategy, but it's not a good growth strategy. So there you go, for what it's worth. All right. I do think that there's some good ideas in here in terms of spot bonuses and in I don't know, just a different approach that feels a little bit less yucky, I guess is the technical term. All right, in the big news of the week, big news. Huge. It's huge. It's huge news. The new leaderboard came out. Also, this is really funny. This screenshot does not include me. That's hilarious. Over 800, it's missing the top 2. I'm gonna have to go grab mine.
Ruminations.
Over $800 in peoples is now available to claim for last week's top 50 creators on the Quotient leaderboard. Creators who held at least 100 donut received a 2x boost. Big thanks to Saltorius.eth and Peoples for sponsoring. Next week's sponsor is oink.eth. I don't know how to say it. Oink who has provided $1,500 in Oink for the top 60 creators. We'll update the leaderboard for this week after giving folks some time to review last week's results. And I clearly have to find a different screenshot. Please hold. There's one on mine, so I'll grab that really fast. But it was a big week, and normally, Adrian, I would agree with you that your rank on a leaderboard is not your worth, except this week it is. That's only for the people.
Prof, live by the ranking, die by the ranking. Don't
true.
come crying to me when you fall.
There's zero chance this is ever happening again, ever. But it happened this week, so there we go. I was number 1 on the leaderboard, first time ever, last time ever. But yes, thank you. And the reason is Linda took the weekend off. It's the only reason. And Burtwurst and Say Angel didn't drop pets until late Sunday night. These are the reasons that I managed to hold on. But yeah, that was kind of fun.
Yes.
I get it. I get it, Henry. I get it.
And Pugson has a new weighted blanket and is apparently sleeping for the first time. I mean, yeah, never happened
also,
before.
He needs to update here. I don't know what happened here. We don't have his little PFP. So the new leaderboard, we had me, Linda, Horsefax, Burtworth, Moon Poppy, Pugson, Say Angel, and Trumpty, and I forget who the other 2 were on the top 10, but it was a nice leaderboard. I liked the new one. All right. Anyways, moving on. Not your worth, yada yada. But fun, and I'll never see it again. So that was fun. Moving on. This from Dan. Good overview of what we've done to support Clanker ecosystem projects recently from TLDR. 1, burned accumulated native token fees. 2, redirected ongoing native token fees to creators, highlighting teams through a variety of channels. So that's the Clanker Spotlight and the Clancaster Spotlight. And also what Linda's been doing, highlighting. So, and Tim had written a really great tweet about Clanker as an anti-extractor, and very cool. So thanks for that, Tim. All right, moving on. We've got some builder news. This from Rachel W. Applications are now open for the Creator-Fi Accelerator. Thanks to a generous grant from Base, participation is funded for our first 100 creators. So January 14th to 16th, it's 3 days of learning, building, and growing alongside creators who show up and support each other, create, own, earn. Socialfy starts here. So if you're interested, go to Rachel W's or Rachel Wilkins over on Twitter, either one of those, and go apply. And I think they've already had like 90 applications as of like day one. So get in there quickly because it is going to fill up pretty fast. And you'll see it right in her thread. The application is there. So go check that out. And I don't really know what this is. So I need to preface the whole next thing with, this is from Bora Dutch, DYOR, NFA, all the things. Haven't used it, don't really know, but see a lot of people talking about it. And we want to just mention Pigeon Trade. So this is from farcasteradmin.eth, aka Bora Dutch. And just like this, I'm happy to present you with the new Farcaster client. It's not a client. Pigeon Trade, CCDWR. You can now surf, like, cast, search, interact with Farcaster users and content anywhere. Telegram, WhatsApp, Facebook, Messenger, X, Reddit, Slack, Discord, SMS, etc. And you can automate it all, which that's very interesting. Here's how. Pigeon do this. Pigeon Trade create me an automation to check every 15 minutes if I got new likes to any of my Farcaster casts published in the last 8 hours. Then like the newest cast, if there is one, from the users that liked my cast. I want users to feel seen and appreciated. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting mechanics here. And there's a response from Pigeon Trade, built it. Your Warpcast signer is completed, which is, okay, Warpcast. So we can do write actions like automation request created, 813 queued, runs every 15 minutes. So interesting. And it actually attached the docs for you to learn more. So, okay, be on the lookout.
Pigeons have intelligence. Okay. Do you remember, this is deep lore, when Farcaster admin, I think it was called Warpcast admin.
He was, yes, he was, yeah.
AKA Bora Dutch. Do you remember when he automated likes?
No.
Just from his personal account. So there was a time when you would get like, you'd cast and Bora Dutch would like all your casts.
I don't remember that. Oh,
but
that's
it was
funny.
Automated. Yeah. And I love that he's built this in. It's like, oh, I'm going to make this because people like, to get that little hit, a little dopamine hit, someone liking your stuff. But when we knew it was automated, it was annoying. Yeah. I was like, okay, that now you're just, it's like, now it's just a computer doing it. You didn't really.
But we're already there in a lot of other ways too, with things like amps and influence, and it's a little different, but it's similar, right? It's and Surge is the new one. So you're also having where people can buy the likes anyway. So there's that. There's that as well. But this is interesting mechanics. I'm trying to think of what else we could do with it. There's probably things we could do when people mention GM Farcaster, which could be pretty cool. So we'll have to brainstorm, but there you go. Client without a UI. Yeah, I know, because you know what? I immediately dismissed his note about being a client, but technically it probably is.
I think he's also talked about, is it him, the death of UIs.
Oh, has he?
There's a few people of like here, it's like, oh, everything.
Because they're thinking more with bots and
Yes, everything just becomes kind of agents. When you have agents doing everything, the way you interact with tech is is going to change. So that's his, I think it's him.
Yeah, that sounds like him. That would make sense. And it could be deployer as well. Interesting. All right. This also from Rachel W.
I don't know.
What gives you, why did she give you face? Did you get Adrian face there for a minute?
I use amps. And
yeah. You know what? I get the little dopamine hit from all of a sudden I get a notification from MetaMask. And by the way, every time it happens, I think of you. It'll say, dollar just added, $1.50, and it's amps coming into my MetaMask. It's so funny. I see our guests down there in the green room. We're just got a couple more news items and then we're going to bring you up. This was from Rachel W. as well. I think this is interesting. If you want a glimpse of the future, watch The Hiring. Marriott, valued at 80 to 83 billion with 196 million loyalty members, is hiring a crypto product manager to build stablecoin payment rails, slowly then all at once. But also, you don't need to build them. We built them already, Marriott. So you do need somebody to advise you, though. I think that would be a good idea. All right, I'm trying to just go through and make sure I get the
Is there a
things that I needed
poly market for when Marriott launches their own L1?
Oh, they absolutely will. They'll L2, hopefully, at least. This was disturbing from Jake. I was a little upset. He cast it. I don't care if Die Hard is a Christmas movie. It is not a good movie. And there was some pushback, mostly from me. I had people tagging me in this. So, and then, so I want to thank Derek for the top 9 not Christmas movies sponsored by Jake's Awful Take, which I thought was great. Children of Men, Die Hard, Gremlins, When Harry Met Sally. Also, definitely, I just watched that last night. You should watch it. Everyone should go back and watch that one. Iron Man 3, Invasion USA, American Psycho, Edward Scissorhands, and Lethal Weapon. I don't know how American Psycho becomes a Christmas movie at all in any way, shape, or form. But okay, I don't even remember Christmas in there whatsoever. But I'm not going to go back and find out. This was from Pugson, and the only reason I'm sharing this is for the comments in the replies. So Pugson said, Christmas really snuck up on me this year. I don't like it, with a picture of him getting his tree. And we have Bert Worst asking, why have you captured a tree? You forced my hand. The tree. Do you need help? I need help with the trinkets. What trinkets? What is happening? So Bert's not familiar with the Christmas and why there's a tree in the house. And hopefully if the assistants have brought in a tree, hopefully Bert knows he is not to mark that one. It's unnecessary. No, not necessary. Really quick, I just want to mention this just for the sole reason of adding him to the Farcaster lore.
Oh, you're so sweet.
I am the real Yakuza. None of my casts have been mentioned on GM Farcaster yet. Check out this mini app to see if any of your casts have been mentioned on Farcaster's #1 news show. And this is where you can see if you've been mentioned. That's why I'm showing it. And now I am the real Yakuza. After we get this loaded up, you'll be added. So there you go. This from Perp from the Haberdashery. First monthly unlock of airdrop has been sent out. Currently setting everything up to send out first round of engagement rewards. Going to be working on the math now and set up fee distribution for monthly NFT holders. Fee distribution and sending those out in the next few days. So look for your wallets or your warplets and see if you have any rewards waiting for you there. All right, I got to pull up some base news really quick, and then we will bring our guest up. I have to just open up my links because we have a lot going on today. It's very exciting day, Adrian, which we're not going to talk about any of that with our guest. So we're going to talk about it ahead of time because we can't.
Right, we're allowed to, I think we're allowed to talk about rumors. But Annika is
We're allowed to talk about it. She cannot confirm or deny anything. So, but it's a big day. We've got everyone gathering in San Francisco today. Very exciting for whatever's happening. It's not exactly sure what. But we have guesses. We have guesses. By the way, this is really funny from Rachel. Happy Basemas Eve to all. I think everyone's feeling like it's feeling a little Christmassy. By the way, I love I don't know if you can see my background, but these are the Christmas sweater prototypes. They had some Christmas sweaters at the Surge. I don't know if they were actually sweaters, but they look like them, like ugly Christmas sweaters. And Aneri was posting them, and I love them. So I want one. So base, if you're listening to me, Sarah, Aneri, can you make these available for sale? Would buy. So this is what's happening today. It's a system update happening today from Base, Coinbase, I should say. Coinbase system update incoming. exciting product announcements, key business updates, lots of other cool stuff. New era of Coinbase is beginning. December 17th, 2 p.m. Pacific time, live on X. So it's 5 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you're watching over there, and I'm sure there will be recordings after the fact. So very exciting. And then this was, hold on, let me see if I can get it. This was the sweater weather. That's what's behind me, and all the different versions before that. Aneri has landed in San Francisco, and there's actual like stuff on the walls, IRL. This is big. This is really
We just talked to
big.
Jake about this on Monday, like the
Yeah.
posters and how the value now it's, you
Yeah.
do something IRL, but you put it on the internet and more people see.
I know. Crazy, right? Yeah. I mean,
I
and
haven't seen
that's
them in my town. Coinbase is not plastering my town
not
with
plastering your town right now. I've
billboards.
seen it when they were in Art Basel a couple of years ago. I remember seeing Base, everything like plastered around town, and it looked amazing. Last thing from Base before we bring up our guest, who I hope can talk a little bit about this. This was the Base Solana bridge, went live last week, enabling the seamless transfer of assets between both chains. Our team wrote a technical deep dive on why we built the bridge, architecture and design choices, roadmap for future improvements and decentralization. So there is a blog. This link will be in our show notes, so you can learn more from the technical side of that. And on that note, let's bring Annika up to the stage. GM, welcome.
Hi, great to be here. How are you both?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing well, doing well. It's a good Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday. Adrienne, so I'm going to let you kick us off because you met Annika at DevConnect.
Yes.
So,
okay, so Annika and I met at DevConnect at the Base Build Her brunch that I learned, Annika, that you hosted. I had been at the one at Farcon Venice, which may have been the first one.
I think it was the first one.
Yeah, there's been several since then, but yeah, it's always like one of my favorite events of any conference.
Amazing. And you are one of the founding engineers of Base Chain. So we've heard the lore. Do you recognize my background, by the way?
Oh yeah, is it? I mean, it's getting a little cut off, but is that at the Basecamp venue?
Yes, which was I think at the 1-year anniversary of launching, where we heard all the lore
at the first Basecamp. Yeah,
at the first Basecamp, was saying, and we were hearing all the lore and all the pictures of when Base Chain.
With the launch,
the launch and with its first block, and then now you're a product lead for Base Chain. So you want to just start there and either
I feel like the whole journey, you can always tell it after the fact in like a more cohesive way, but it's definitely always a roundabout journey. So yeah, when I had gotten involved in Base first, I'd been at Coinbase for a few years already, working more on like the key management side of things, and as a developer on that, and also had dabbled in smart contracts. And I had joined a team that was kind of a tiger team focused on how do we like bring the world on chain, how do we bring Coinbase on chain. And we had played around like for several months with a bunch of ideas and iterated really quickly. Had a lot of good ideas, but also eventually we shut that down. And part of the reason was that we basically didn't have the proper infrastructure or muscle for how to actually deploy those projects. And the biggest issue actually was that it was just too expensive. And so when we thought about bringing the world on chain, we need to have like sub-second, sub-cent fees to do that. And at the time, this was in like 2021, 2022, Ethereum was way too expensive, and even L2s were too expensive. So
can we just pause there for a minute? 2022 wasn't that long ago. Like it's amazing like how, I mean, it seems like so long ago that you could do transaction, like you'd have a big NFT mint and your gas fee could be in the hundreds or thousands of dollars, like insane when it got really crazy demand. What's that?
I was going to say tens of dollars, but
No,
hundreds.
hundreds. I had times where it was hundreds, and you would just cancel a transaction and wait. And that was when, especially if you're just trying to vote on a DAO proposal, like that's how I know, because it would go crazy and you just like, you can't do this. Like, this is not sustainable.
Yeah.
So yeah, totally get that. I think a lot of us experience that pain point for sure.
Yeah, and sometimes you couldn't even cancel it because you had no idea when the fees would come down. So you would just be at this like $80 fee, and you're like, it could go to 100, so maybe I'll just pay it.
Yeah, that happened a lot. Yeah.
So yeah, definitely a different world, but I think we had, like somewhat ruled out Ethereum because it was way too expensive. But even the fact that layer twos were still like on average 10 to 20 cents per transaction, like there's just no way that that could actually be sustainable for bringing 1 billion people on chain. So while we kind of shut down that effort for a time, a group of 5 of us continued to focus on like what is the core platform that we can build that can bring both Coinbase and the world on chain. And we focused on efforts like EIP 4844, which was essentially to reduce L2 transaction fees by introducing a new data type called blobs. And we also collaborated with Optimism on that at the time. And so that's kind of where the partnership began. And when thinking about the platform, that's when we started thinking about actually having our own platform that then could become the default place for Coinbase to start deploying more products and become more of an on-chain company. So yeah, a lot has happened since then, but that was kind of the initial story. And after we launched, I ultimately pivoted into product, and that's kind of where we are today.
So you were there when they launched Space Chain at the camp, yes?
Yeah, exactly where
Amazing.
now. It was a super cool experience. Like there was no external people there. It was just our team. It was also very scrappy, and I really liked that about like the early days of Base, and continues to be the case. But like over half the team at the time, they weren't even full-time on Base. They were just, doing their full day jobs and then volunteering their time to
Wow.
work on Base because they were so passionate about it. Like our entire front end team, like the whole website, the Base website was just built by people who were doing this after hours. And so that kind of tells you a bit about what it looked like. But yeah, we all went to the middle of the woods in Idlewild and set up a Starlink and yeah, launched Base then.
I still love that part. Had to set up Starlink to make sure it was actually going to go. Because you're in the middle of the woods
Annika,
on a mountain.
Question about how, when you say kind of Base chain, and now you're talking about, when you talk about the front end and kind of the Base, I don't know, what is it? Is it base.org?
Yeah, I think so.
URL or base.dev. Are all of those considered Base chain properties?
So yeah, what I specialize in right now is the core protocol. So basically like scaling, decentralization, like faster, like flash blocks was something that my team worked on. So really the core protocol. And I think the biggest focus for me at the moment is like figuring out our scaling roadmap for the next year or two, because we want to continue being more and more ambitious with that, and kind of tying back to bringing the world on chain. I think we've always thought about that as like a very core part of like lowering fees, enabling new use cases and new people to come on chain. And similarly with decentralization, that's like a very core part of that.
Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about then scaling, like how either from like high level engineering perspective of like what is involved in scaling a chain, an L2, how you think about it, any stories from the past? I mean, we've kind of seen from the beginning, like there have been a few moments I know where there's been like peaks or spikes in usage, and then you see kind of gas fees sometimes go up on Base chain. So just like, how do you think about that, where you're at, where you're going?
Yeah, definitely. yeah, a lot of kind of history there, but it's all been in the last like year and a half. So on the passage of time, it's kind of funny to think about everything that's happened. But
Go way back in history. Take us back.
way back to 2023.
Exactly. Yeah. So how we scale, basically what we define as scaling for base is increasing the overall amount of throughput that can exist on the chain and the overall capacity that the chain has. And so say you filled a block with 100 USDC sends, we want to get that to 1,000 and then 10,000 and basically continue increasing that. And so as we scale, we also, I guess the original reason that we scaled was we were seeing high fees on base, and we thought, okay, there's a lot of congestion. What if we increase, like if we're going on a highway and there's 2 lanes, like let's add a 3rd lane and see what happens. So that's what we did, and it actually immediately worked. Like fees were reduced, and so we thought, like, why don't we keep doing this? So we basically have continued to scale and set really ambitious North Star metrics around like where we want to get to with scaling. And we've had a few phases, I would say, of scaling over the years. The first phase was kind of what I described, where we were just trying it and figuring it out as we go, but not really knowing like what issues we were going to run into. And then there was a phase where we started running into those issues and identifying them and understanding them. So these were things like performance of nodes and the amount of state and history growth that nodes store. Also things like we have fault proofs live when we became stage 1 decentralized as a chain. And those also have performance concerns where we need to make sure that these fault-proof games can play out within the 7-day window. So things like that. And one of the biggest bottlenecks that we've worked really closely with the entire ecosystem on is layer 1 data availability, which is similar to what I described, which is basically the blobs that I described before. And that is essentially a shared resource amongst all layer 2s, where we are posting data to the L1 to inherit the security of Ethereum. And we have limited space that we can actually post that data. And so all the L2s are kind of sharing that. And when we get to this saturated place where all of the data is being used, then it becomes a zero-sum game with other L2s. And we don't want that to happen. Like we want it to be a positive sum collaborative game. So those are all the—
Can I just pause right there? I have a question.
Yeah,
so where are we in terms of that? Like how much are we taking up of the blobs? Like where are we percentage wise for that?
Yeah, so base, last time I checked, takes about like 30 to 40% of the blob space. So still bigger, but we've had a lot of huge wins in the past few months. So about halfway through this year, the amount of blobs were doubled, and that was in the Pectra hard fork. And then Farca just landed a few weeks ago, and that basically deployed the infrastructure for a much bigger change called PureDAS, which essentially allows us to increase blobs significantly more. And so because it was a pretty complicated change, the code went live without any sort of increase of blobs, but now they're doing basically mini hard forks, which are called blob parameter only hard forks. And each of those will increase blobs. So we just had the first one land last week, which took the blobs from 6 to 10. And then we're going to continue seeing those on maybe a monthly basis or so. So this was all like the work of, folks on my team, but also a very collaborative effort across the ecosystem to really advocate for this layer 1 data availability and focus on scaling the entire Ethereum ecosystem. And so it's been cool to see all the teams come together with that shared goal, and also just see the ecosystem really focus on scaling as like a a primary goal. So yeah, and then kind of back to scaling where we are now. We had that period of basically identifying all these bottlenecks and working towards them. I would say now we're in the phase where we have active projects that are working, active or complete projects that are working towards all of these bottlenecks, and feel pretty strongly that we can get to our scaling goals. And we at the same time are starting to think about, like, as we scale, it's not just pure amount of capacity that exists on the chain. We also want to make sure that there's quality usage, and we're making the most of the block space that we do have. So we have some efforts there to kind of think about how do we like incentivize the, the most quality behavior and the most quality usage of the chain.
If you don't mind, Annika, what's like an example of how you, like, what's an example of something that you would say this is quality that you'd want to see more of?
Yeah, I think it's generally like any activity that people are doing. I would say there's two call outs. One is when the fees are really cheap on base, then we've historically seen across all L2s that this happens, where there's basically incentivization to just do more like spammy behavior. So this is kind of like bots and activity that is not really, like real people doing real transactions.
Like the genuine, authentic.
Yeah, and that's just because the fees are so cheap that basically you can do anything. You're almost like incentivized to fill the space. So one thing we just had go live a few weeks ago was minimum base fee, which basically puts like a lower cap on kind of how low the fees can get. And so we think that will actually pretty much remove this issue of spam in those cases.
Must be tough to like determine what's a good bot and what's a bad bot. You know what I mean? Like what's a spammy bot and what's banker, or you know what I mean? Something that's a bot that's an agent that's designed to help people do transactions. So how are you sort of filtering for that?
It's a good question. We are always learning more and more about the activity on chain. It's kind of like, as a fully open sourced, like in the crypto world, you don't always know what's happening. And so
yeah,
trying to get more and more insight into the types of activity that happen, and basically how we should respond to those. But it's a constant learning experience. And with the minimum base fee, for example, we are trying to target that it's not impacting more than like 5% of traffic. And we expect that the cheapest 5% of traffic is spammy, because we've seen numbers and studies that show that it's probably even higher than that. But ultimately, we would kind of assume that real users, if they're experiencing getting filtered out for some reason, they would adapt. Whereas like maybe the bots would say, I actually don't care about doing this behavior anymore. Because at the point it's at, and at the point we're trying to set it to, like it shouldn't be really distinguishable to a user. Like it's the difference between 1,000th of a cent versus 1/10,000th of a cent or something like that.
Right.
And, a real user would probably
so
just
it's
say,
more like a volume thing where it becomes a problem. So if you're a spammy bot that does, something every second or whatever, then it's going to add up and sort of hopefully make it not worthwhile anymore.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Yeah.
The actual issue with spam too, or one of the issues, is that it oftentimes is kind of an inefficient use of resources. And when I say resources, it's like computational resources. And so basically the amount that is being paid for gas is not actually reflective of the amount of computation it's taking to execute that transaction by the sequencer and by the nodes. And so it is kind of, in some cases, it's harmful to the chain for that behavior to exist. And so that's kind of the reason we want to actually address it. And that's kind of, that whole work stream is generally focused on incentivizing like developers and usage to be basically more like sustainable for the chain.
Awesome. Adrian, what other questions do you have? Oh, I wanted to ask about the Solana bridge. And I don't know, I'm sure that wasn't necessarily your purview, but how did that all come together? Is everything working as intended? Like, if you can just kind of touch on that a little bit.
Yeah. So how it actually came together, we have wanted to, we've always had this concept of Base being a bridge, not an island. And when thinking about that, we explored a bunch of different options for how to like better interop with other chains. And ultimately, with other like Ethereum ecosystem chains, there are a variety of third-party bridges that we've seen users are pretty comfortable using. And the bigger pain point, I would say, was like cross ecosystem, basically cross ecosystem bridging, like specifically Solana being top of the list. And so that was kind of the original rationale for focusing on a Base Solana bridge, is really like enabling this new use case. And yeah, from what I've seen, things have gone very smoothly so far. Yeah, so I'm excited to see how that goes.
I was gonna, I guess we touched scaling. I know you hosted a scaling summit last week.
Yeah.
How did that go?
It was awesome. This was kind of like V1.5 of the scaling summit. There was like a very small one we had last year, which was really just a few teams who had been thinking about scaling at the time. So like a broad reflection is just a lot of gratitude that the whole ecosystem seems to have like started thinking about scaling a lot more than in the past year or so. So we had we had a bunch of other L2s there, the Ethereum Foundation, definitely a lot of the client teams, like the execution client teams, were present as well. One big reflection was that it seems like we've all been thinking about we've all basically come to the conclusion of like the biggest scaling issues on our own, and just all being in a room together, we realized that we can compare notes and actually be collaborating even more on these things. Like I think there's already some collaboration, but that was really cool to see that we're relatively aligned on like what are the scaling issues and how do we address them. So that was one of the coolest takeaways. The other one was we on Base, we think a lot about being Ethereum aligned. And we're a little bit nervous to like deviate from Ethereum in some instances where, for example, one of the biggest scaling issues right now is there are these opcodes, which is basically like one of the units of computation, and they're mispriced. So basically, the amount of gas that you're paying, this is kind of what I was saying about the spam behavior, where the amount of gas you're paying is not equivalent to the amount of execution process that this is taking. And so that actually causes a pretty big scaling bottleneck, because we have to be planning for this worst case behavior. If someone were to try to DOS the chain and fill a block with just like all the worst case opcodes, like we have to be prepared for that case. So we had a general alignment that this is a problem, and we could reprice these opcodes, but that hasn't happened like really in many years in the Ethereum world. And so there's some anxiety that this will maybe break some tooling, or like we don't know what impact this will have across the chain. So we've been excited to do this, but also nervous to do it ahead of the Ethereum like L1. And so one takeaway from the scaling summit was the EF is actually excited about L2s, like experimenting ahead of them, because it's kind of like a safer testing ground for some of the bigger changes that might be a little bit scary. And so
they're like, go ahead, see what you can do. Go ahead. You go first. You go first.
And in a good way, in a way that I was like excited to hear, because I think sometimes we can be a little bit like, oh, we don't know how people respond to this, and so it's good to just talk about it and see like how people react, because that was not exactly my like expected reaction from them. And honestly, it comes back to like one of the values I do like about I mean, our ecosystem as a whole, but like Base, we've always been like very open sourced. And so sometimes when I'm like not sure how the community will react to this idea, it's like, let's just put it out there and see what happens. And so, yeah, I think a lot of
action produces information. There you go.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I like, it sounds like a really nice collaborative spirit between the L2s and Ethereum mainnet, as well as around L2s. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Very. Adrian, anything else you wanted to tackle today?
I know we're coming
we have
on
Annika
time.
here.
Yeah.
Are you in San Francisco today for the event, or no? Are you offsite?
I'll be tuning into the live stream.
Okay. You'll be with us. I was just thinking, like, did we get you? I know. I was like, did we get you up? Is it 6:30? Yeah. So it was my thought here at like halfway through. I'm like, is she there in San Francisco? One of the things I was thinking about when you were talking about like the scaling summit was, I'm always impressed at how Coinbase taps into remote work and makes that a strong part of their team, but also sets up these opportunities for the IRL moments, whether it's something like a scaling summit or when they do surge weeks and everybody's all hands on deck in one particular office. We saw that with the Base app team last week. I think that's really such a great way to sort of balance all of that without it becoming inauthentic, I guess is the word. Like, it's not just a meeting for a meeting's sake. This could have been an email kind of situation. It's like, no, you're going to come here and we're going to actually work and like get the benefit of actually being face-to-face in an efficient way. So in a productive way. So yeah. And I don't know if that's been your experience, like if you find that helpful or how that is on your end.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's funny because actually prior to the pandemic, Coinbase was one of the few like crypto companies that was very much an in-person company, and then did a full 180 when it was a pandemic. Like, we're fully remote. Also just indefinitely, like we're not going to go back into person was basically the messaging. And it did allow us to hire like a lot of really great talent throughout that period of time.
Yeah.
That talent is truly all over the place. Like, there's no hubs really. I mean, maybe slightly more people in places like New York and SF, but that's probably just, population distribution. But it's been a really cool setup. Yeah, my team is all over the place. And I do think there's like benefits of being remote first in terms of like productivity and allowing people to, come from different diverse backgrounds. But then having this like once a quarter in-person working session to kind of create more team cohesion and get to know each other, because that is harder in the remote environment. But also like get stuff done. So we also had a in-person surge last week for the Base chain, and we kind of tackled it together with the scaling summit. So we had a couple of days of scaling summit and then a couple of days, and right now we're really in like the mode of 2026 planning. So it was really cool to reflect on like how far we've come this year, and also really think about like where we want to go in the next year.
Love it. Adrian, anything else before we let Annika go?
Yeah. Do you have a hard stop? I know I told you half hour. I'm like, do you have to go? Favorite applications being built on Base right now?
Oh, good question.
Oh, that's a great question. I feel like this is the thing with the protocol side of things, is you're so busy doing the stuff that you don't get as much time to just play.
You have no idea how hard anyone's using your chain.
But I always love like the social use cases, and I'm not like a huge trader myself, and so it's been cool to see like what the base app has enabled, and start to see yeah, basically I feel like it's very much just the start, where we're kind of seeing these things pop up where it's just trying to get more engagement, and then we'll see like basically what is this paving the way for in the future as well.
Totally. Do you know all of our episodes have been on base?
Yeah, that's
We
so
mint them all since day one.
Every single one.
Okay.
Yep,
amazing.
since day one.
I love what you guys do.
And that's part of like, we couldn't have done that on L1. Like too expensive, way too expensive. And there's so many things I've been able to do in class, because I still also, although I do this full time, I still have one class that I teach each semester. And with base, that has been a much more interactive experience, because now I can do that. Like, you know, even though it's still coming a little bit out of my pocket, it's like nothing compared to an L1 trying to do anything on the L1, which was just, especially back in 2022, when I first started teaching the class, like it was crazy expensive. So there was only so much you could do. And now I can really give them a lot of hands-on experience to try things out and do things. And that's because of all you're doing in the background and making it so much easier. I, you know, just need a lot less resources for them to be able to do a ton of things on chain, which is really great.
Yeah.
So, appreciate that.
Like the cool professor that everyone's like, how is she so like the
How is this old chick so into like crypto? It's weird.
I'm
That's
so
much what my
biased.
students think too. Like, you're so cool. Oh, you muted.
Do you know I don't know if you've noticed when I tap my mic, it gets unplugged.
Yeah.
And StreamYard.
So, you know, for Christmas, might I recommend?
Yeah.
I knew.
I'm gonna upgrade the setup. Okay. I said I was so biased because I also love the social aspects. And it's funny because Prof, like so much of what we do now, it's like I forget there's other use cases beyond social.
Yeah, that's true.
And I also forget that everything we're doing is on like how even like blockchain has just been abstracted away so much as well.
Yeah. And more every day, like with smart wallets and embedded wallets and all these things.
Yeah. And I never really have to think about the protocol or anything. Like you take it for granted. So Annika, I'm really glad you spent time with us, because I think I love getting the full picture. To Mika's point, they said they understood 20%, lower than the usual 60%. That is not a dig on your communication. It is
not at all. We got a little more technical today. So this is for the nerd folks. This is for our devs. Yes. We have a ton of devs who watch the show. So
and we're going to give homework assignment. You need to re-listen 3 times and then go do follow-up reading. Also, we're live on the base app. So we have a mini app, and Dylan got the notification because everything's programmable. So we love that. Maybe we do a quick lightning round of questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
And then we can let you go to your work day.
Because Yes to Crypto had a good one.
Because we have new.
Yeah, I'm not even like that. It's going to require too much explanation.
Okay, these are easy questions. There are no wrong answers, and we like to have fun with our guests before we let you go. Okay, so on Farcaster and Base App and any of these social apps, we talk a lot about URL to IRL pipeline, where you're meeting people on the internet through shared interests behind PFPs that you have no idea. Their gender, age, where they live, whatnot, but then you later become friends in real life. So when and how did you make your first internet friend?
Oh, wow. I think it's definitely been through the crypto world where, I think it was probably the first conference I went to was maybe ETH Denver, like 2020, or no, 2021. It was early enough in COVID where I'm pretty sure there was a vaccine, but still everyone got COVID. But it was like
that still happens. It still happens.
but it was
Remind me, I have a token to send you after the show. I have one it's a post-conference plague token that everybody gets sick,
it was
And it's on base.
and it's on base, of course.
Yeah, but I think it was a friend that we had like worked on like DAO stuff together for like several months, and then all of a sudden, yeah, I actually participate in like have participated in governance in the past, and we had like a small team that was based in London and Australia and like all over the US. And so it was cool to like all get together at a conference and be like, oh, you are real people. And now we are all friends.
I've had those experiences too, where you've been like in the trenches, in the Dow trenches, where you have been discussing proposals and like deep diving and having arguments and all this stuff, and you've never met them in person, and then like meeting them in person, it immediately changes those relationships, like because you just get them a little bit more, you understand them better. So yeah, very cool.
Love it. Morning person or night owl?
I'm definitely more, I love mornings, and honestly, I moved to the East Coast at the beginning of this year, and having like a longer morning before all the notifications start coming in has been very, very nice.
Nice. And then do you have to work late then? Are you working East Coast and West Coast hours?
It depends. I think because of the remote environment, it's kind of like
No.
you work when,
24/7.
No, work when you async.
Yeah,
Async for everything.
get everything done at whatever times of the day it makes sense to do so.
Concert or sporting event?
Concert, but if it's like smaller, yeah, I don't like the huge concerts. Yeah.
I would answer the same. Small venue concerts. I do not like stadiums. If you were to write a book, what would it be about?
I'm currently trying to help my dad write a book about his life. So I do love writing in a past life. I don't have much time to do it right now, but yeah, I think he's an inspiration to me.
Nice.
When you're done, put it on chain and check out Alexandria Books. So /Alexandria. Yeah.
What is the next country you want to visit?
I have been dreaming about going to Japan. I know it's like so in right now and it's very basic, but of me to want to go to Japan, but it's like such a beautiful culture, and I think it's so yeah.
There is no basic answer to that
shout
question.
Out Peachy. Shout out Peachy. Peachy will take follow PICHI on Base App or Farcaster. She is constantly posting about Japan. She travels there a lot and just shares a lot of the culture as well. So a lot of stuff that she's always posting about it.
Camping or hotel?
Ooh, I love the outdoors. I will say I love like hiking and then going back to like a shower. So I would probably choose hotel, but I feel a little guilty about it.
So glam.
Okay, I have new questions I'm introducing to our round. Regular people recognize all these questions, but this is a new one. Karaoke song.
Oh, I Want It That Way by the Backstreet Boys.
I love it. I love it.
Wait, where was I? Who loves the Backstreet Boys? Were we somewhere? Do we have someone who does Backstreet at our karaoke parties?
I want to say CJ, but I don't know why.
Yeah, I feel like that's it. Annika, if you are at Eat Denver, save the date for Saturday. We're inviting you to our karaoke brunch.
Amazing.
And okay. And this is a classic Farcaster question. I can't even answer it. I can't ask it with a straight face. When you're taking a shower, which direction do you face? Toward the water or away?
That is a great question. I'm more away, but it's maybe like a 60-40%.
And when you eat your kiwi, do you eat it with the skin on or off?
Wow, I actually don't eat kiwis. But if I were to, I would probably eat it with it off.
Okay.
That is the absolute perfect answer to that question. In my opinion. Dan and I both agree that is the correct answer.
Okay, last question. What is one thing you wish more people understood about crypto?
I think like we can be in a bubble sometimes of like the crypto world, and then you talk to people outside of crypto and they're like, what is this? So I do think there's a lot of work that we need to do still. And I think continuing to keep up the narrative of like what crypto has the power to do and basically how it can become the new infrastructure for the new internet. And it's like fairly agnostic right now to what applications can be built on it. I think that would be important for a messaging to continue sharing outside of the crypto bubble.
Perfect last answer. Amazing. Thank you, Annika, so much for being with us today. By the way, this was really funny. So Yes to Crypto wants to merge those. Yes, you know what I want to ask? When you take a shower, is the kiwi skin on or off or on chain, and is it sufficiently decentralized?
Sir, there is no hyphen in on chain.
There is no hyphen in on chain. By the way, there is no hyphen there.
Decentralized.
And thank you so much, Annika. We're going to let you go. I have a couple quick things to wrap up here, but thank you so much for joining us. And Adrian came back from Dev Connect and was like, we got to have Annika on the show. She's great. You got to meet her. So thanks so much for taking the time. I know it's going to be a busy day. So thanks so much. We appreciate you.
Luck. Yes, good luck to all the Coinbasers who are.
Good luck to all the Coinbasers.
Is anyone frantically deploying final PRs ahead of 5 p.m.? Or
I'm sure there are, yeah.
Or is everything or has everything been wrapped and ready to go and the office is calmly waiting?
I'm thinking the former, but
the former as well.
Because they're going to find and it's going to be little things like, I found a comma that has to move,
I found a hyphen.
Yeah. There's an on hyphen chain in here. Get it?
Exactly. Actually, we are doing a gas limit increase today. So there's stuff happening.
All right. Well,
I thought we weren't allowed to talk about anything happening today. We carefully skirted.
This one is scaling related. It's not a
scaling related.
Well,
Amazing.
congratulations.
Thank you so much for being here. Good luck with everything today. And we'll see you on chain.
Yes. And thank you for all the quiet protocol work.
Yes.
Our unsung,
don't get enough
unsung
heroes. Yeah.
And we take all of your work for granted, and it will never be good enough. You will never be fast enough or cheap enough. So we need to take a moment to say, I'm not saying I don't feel this way, Prof. I'm saying the masses. I'm saying the masses.
Way to leave on a positive.
I am telling you, you are perfect. No, but I'm just saying it's the expectation, right? It's like
always
should be zero, and you can't be infinitely zero. And we really, really appreciate it. And you guys are awesome. And I know I do think unsung heroes. So I'm really happy to have gotten to know you.
Yeah, such an honor to be here. Appreciate it. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. And thank you so much, Annika.
And congratulations to making it to We'll Circle Back in 2026.
Yes.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks so much, Annika. I'm gonna bump you down to the green room. Awesome. That was awesome. So great to chat with her. And I wanted to bring this up. I have Chintan coming on with us on Friday. And so although we couldn't talk about what's happening today with Annika, we will definitely be talking about what's happening today or what happened. It'll be past tense on Friday. So he'll be here to talk about all the things that are going on today. Amazing. And again, one last thank you to the Haberdashery. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for sponsoring this episode. That was such a good chat. It got a little technical, but it's a good thing because we have a lot of devs who watch the show. It's one for the devs.
And it's not just for the devs. Okay, so for anyone who felt
everybody.
Like that okay, so for anyone who felt like that conversation went over their head, right?
Yeah.
Here's it. This is my best advice: is don't worry about having to understand everything she said. You don't need to, but just open mind, and you're going to learn something. So just absorb it, and then the next time you hear someone talking about layer 2s, protocols, open source. Blobs. We talked about blobs. Remember that when that happened?
Yes.
We're like, oh, we
Yes.
don't know what this is, but the devs are really excited about
The
it.
devs are really excited about it.
But the next time you hear
Yeah.
about it, like it's easier to learn. So just like you're gonna learn something, and
It compounds over
dots will
time.
be connected. Yes.
It compounds over time. That is a great point. Hold on. Yes, he is a lazy lion. Yeah, has been from the beginning. So yeah, Chintan with his lazy lion. We love the lazy lions. All right. Anything else, Adrian? I think that's our big thing today. Just look for the Coinbase stream at 5 p.m. Apparently only on X, which makes me crazy in ways, but I can't, whatever. Hopefully we'll start to shift that.
If Dylan is still watching, Dylan, are you there? Let me know if you need me to spin up a mini app for you, and so people can watch on the Base app.
Yeah.
Come on,
you can watch on the Base app, or you guys could just, use one of the many, or even Zora. I'm just surprised they're not doing it on Zora too, streaming it to Zora as well. I would, but maybe there must be reasons. It's a Coinbase event. It's not I get it. So, yeah. I get it.
Let's see where we are in a year from now.
Yeah.
I mean, the Base app is still in beta, so
that's true for now. All right, everybody. We'll see you around. We'll be back on Friday. We're going to be a little later on Friday, West Coast friendly, 11:30 a.m. Eastern with Chintan, and I'm excited to chat with him about all the things. So we'll start at 11:30 and do our regular news, and then at noon he'll be joining us, and then we're off for like the rest of the year, literally. With one potential, we might do a pop-up, but we'll be back on January 1st. No shows. No news, no shows. Don't do anything. Please don't make any news. So we can just all relax for a little bit. But we'll have a big show on Friday. Come join us then. And anything else, Adrian? Before I continue to try and make my mini app work, and I think I'm about to give up. So it works, but it sucks. So we'll see. We'll see if it actually makes it out in the world. We'll know by Friday. I have one other thing I've been working on too. One other thing I've been working on that I may drop tomorrow or Friday. We'll see. We'll see how today goes. I kind of don't want to get in the way. I don't want to drop anything new today. So we'll see.
If we had prediction markets, by the way,
that would be a good prediction.
That would be a good prediction.
That would be a good prediction.
By the way, I think everybody probably already is, but follow the GM Farcaster account on Farcaster because we're posting more clips.
Yes, and on Twitter while you're there too.
And on Twitter, yeah. We are posting more clips
everywhere. We also post everything on YouTube, and the clips all go onto TikTok. So follow GM Farcaster wherever you are, in all the places. Our 101.
Farcaster 101. Yes, it is probably still relevant. 60% of it. We talk a lot about the technical stuff. Probably not so relevant because things change. In terms of how to show up on Farcaster, also doesn't work anymore since. No, just kidding.
It does. A lot of it does. A lot of it still tracks. But it's that's the problem with doing stuff like that is it does go out of it's out of date very quickly. So but cool. I'm glad you found it. All right, everybody. We'll see you on Friday. And until then, bye-bye. Thanks for joining us for this episode of GM Farcaster. And thank you to all our partners and HyperSub supporters bringing this episode to you. Follow the GM Farcaster channel for all the latest updates and add our mini app on Farcaster and the Base app. Until next time, bye-bye.